Hello, and welcome back, everyone, to the third and final installation of this haunting series. I don't know why you're back. Be back. So hi. Okay, anyways, we today are going to be talking about The Little Prince and how it is just a absolutely timeless tale, can be retold over and over and over again, and I will personally never get sick of it. I think it's beautiful and stunning and gorgeous. So without further hesitation, let's get right into it. The Little Prince was created by, please have mercy on my pronunciation, Anton Exupéry in 1943. He wrote the book as a dedication to one of his friends who was Jewish within the times of World War II, to celebrate how he always made Anton value his childhood-like wonder and personality. So the book was written 80 years ago. That's a considerable amount of time for history, but the story keeps getting retold. And this is because it is absolutely stunning. There are multiple retellings of the story, but one I'll be talking about today is the 2015 animated version. Look at how gorgeous it is, first of all. A reason the story has been able to be retold over generations is because of the shallow and deep meaning it provides, meaning that anyone can find interest and meaning inside the book, especially within the fox's lines, which we'll be looking into today. Another influencing factor making this story be able to be retold is that it can be passed down through generations. As it is a family-friendly story, people are able to tell their children and next generations about it, causing more people to be interested and just love the book. A line we'll be looking into today from the story is one of the fox's lines, this being, "But you have hair the color of gold, so it will be wonderful once you have tamed me. The wheat, which is golden, will remind me of you, and I will love the sound of the wind in the wheat." This can have two meanings. One is a more shallow and physical interpretation, the other being a more meaningful and deepful interpretation. We will speak about both. A more shallow meaning for children, or those who don't want to read too deeply into the book, is that the fox will literally love the wheat for the time that it reminds him he spent with the prince. It will make him think of a happy memory of him and the prince, as they are such closely resembled. This interpretation of the quote doesn't access the complex, deep meaning that it can hold, like how the fox will not weep at the sound of the wheat because it resembles the prince and the prince has left. He will just value the wheat for the good times that he spent with the prince. Now the deep meaning gets a bit more complicated. The wheat is a representation of the loving and dynamic relationship between the fox and the prince. The fox teaches the prince the value of value, how he put time and effort into the rose which makes her valuable to him. And the prince teaches the fox the ups and downs of relationships, how when the prince leaves, the fox feels sad because he valued the prince. Inside the line from the quote, "And I will love the sound of the wind in the wheat," we can assume that the wheat doesn't hold a previous meaning to the fox before the prince tamed the fox, that there was nothing special about the wheat. So now that the prince has tamed or is going to tame the fox, the wheat now holds meaning in his space and is now a physical representation of their dynamic. It especially represents how special they have made each other. In a time like today, or 2015, or when the book was written, people can be anywhere doing anything whenever they want. So to be with someone to make them special is very important. In a different line in the play, the fox says, "The only things you learn are the things you tame. People haven't time to learn anything. They buy things ready-made in stores. But since there are no stores where you can buy friends, people no longer have friends. If you want a friend, then tame me." This shows how spending time with someone can show how much you value them, how time is such a limited concept and people don't understand that enough, that we need to put time into the people we love to put value into them. And as I mentioned before, the prince's lesson to the fox about the ups and downs of relationships does hurt the fox, but teaches him a great deal about friendship. By a line later in the scene by the fox and little prince, the little prince says, "Then you get nothing out of it." And the fox says, "I get something. Because of the color of the wheat, which is like your hair in the sunshine. I never cared before, but now it is beautiful to me, because it reminds me of you." This shows that the fox has now understood the meaning of meaning, that he has connected the prince to the wheat, and that is what makes the wheat and the prince special. Now, to put a slightly long-winded conclusion into the video, The Little Prince is a timeless story that can be retold. This is because of the deep and shallow meaning it provides to readers, meaning that it can have a wide range of audience. And like in the creative brief for this task says, we want the show to have produced theatre that is made for the young of heart, whether it be 3 or 103. Another little aspect of how the story can be retold, which I would love to have looked into, but I can only choose one, is the theatrical costumes and design of the play. This was shown in the big costumes and personalities of the characters we embodied while putting on the play, meaning that everyone could have a bit of fun and draw meaning out of it. I mean, just like, look at these guys. Look at this. So funky, so cool. And like when the primary school kids came to see it, they were having a ball, and we love that, because even though they didn't need to find the deeper meaning within it, they still had a fun time listening to the play. So that is a very short and feels like very long video on The Little Prince and its timeless meaning. I will probably not continue this video series, or at least not with this computer, because I don't have an actual camera. I don't know. Maybe I might. Who knows? But if I do, I will see you next time. And if I don't, have fun while you're here. Alright? Peace!